And what's going on, guys? It's your boy Uchi back again, once again, for another Full Power Podcast. This is episode 3 of the Full Power Podcast. And tonight, I am joined by the true co-host. Yes, it actually wasn't Geekdom the entire time.
Yeah, you mean
but
Geekdom's
it was supposed
not on this every day?
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, guys, Geekdom is a very busy individual. So as much as we would love to have him on every episode, it can't happen. You know, you gotta sign a contract. I'm making that up, but anyway, House Top. Yes, busy. January was definitely a busy month. So originally, House Top was supposed to be on here for those 2 episodes that we had Geekdom for.
Yeah, so at this point.
Yeah. So, but it's okay. House Top is not here. He's back home where he belongs.
Feels
on
good.
all the podcasts that I decided that I want to freaking make up.
Finally,
All right. Yes.
I have come back to the back of the podcast.
Nah. You at the front with me anyway.
All right, bet.
Yeah. So with all that stuff being said, we have a lot of a good amount of discussions here to talk about for this episode of the Full Power Podcast. But before we get into that, how you doing today? How you been this week, this month so far? How's February treating you?
Pretty good. Outside of Kingdom Hearts having me tight, but yeah, pretty good outside of that. How about you,
Yeah.
Uch? How you feeling? How was the painting?
Oh, so there's a whole project going on in my house right now that we're basically painting, doing a lot of painting, and we should be wrapping up. Actually, we're like done with it, but you gotta let it dry and all that kind of stuff, and then we'll see what happens after that. But yeah, it's been a project with myself and Mama Uchi. We've been doing that for we started a while ago, and then we had to kind of stop because December and January was hectic.
Yeah.
So we finally finished up now, and then next thing to worry about is furniture and whatnot. But you guys will definitely stay tuned to Instagram, Twitter. You guys will get updates on exactly what's going on in my house, with in regards to that room that we're working on. So stay tuned. But anyway, as far as that, aside from that, I should say, a lot of Dragon Ball things to talk about. That's why I decided that I wanted to do this every other week as a consistent podcast here on the YouTube channel, because there's especially nowadays, there's been so much going on in the world of Dragon Ball that there's plenty of things to discuss and to give opinions, reviews, thoughts on, and just to continuously you just bring things up and get the conversations going, get you guys involved in the comments. If there's anything you guys want us to talk about specifically, definitely let us know in the comments.
Yeah, we can address them in the next episode.
Exactly.
Comment of the biweekly.
Yes. Right. So first thing, since this is the Full Power Podcast, what would it be without talking about Broly in some capacity, right?
Right.
So we do have, the only thing we're going to talk about, because if you want to hear, full breakdowns and topic discussions about that movie, you definitely check out episode 1 and 2 with Geekdom.
Yeah.
Those were very fun to record. They were very wild. I will definitely say Geekdom is definitely he's definitely a character. He loves to bust my nuts.
Oh my God,
yeah. But anyway, it's all fun and love, I guess. But as far as this movie goes, we're here to talk about how it's been doing monetarily, and it's still doing really, really well. Domestically, which for those that don't know, that is the United States and Canada. It is brought in $30,382,586.
That's insane.
That's a lot of freaking money.
Especially when compared to foreign of $71,603,528. That's literally almost half.
Yeah.
That's
insane.
Actually
Quick maths. That's almost half.
Quick maths.
Yeah, and what's even more amazing is that because you said you brought the foreign number, so obviously add them both together, you 47. Worldwide, you get 101. That dude, this John is 9 figures.
Yeah.
Oh man, It's such a good time to be alive, good
Right.
time to be a fan of anime and a fan of Broly, but still, it is still sitting high and mighty in that number 3 spot of the top anime movies of all time in the theaters, taking third to Pokemon 1 and 2, which respectively, right? You know, like, that is no shame at all. Like, that's something to actually be super proud of. It's like,
oh, and above the Yu-Gi-Oh movie.
Right? Because
By over 10 million.
if you think about it, right? Like, Broly is out of that list, like, if you look at the top 5, right? 2 of them being Pokemon movies, 1 of them being a Yu-Gi-Oh movie, and the 5th one being The Secret World of Ariety, right? It's insane that this is the most recent anime film. And of those 5, like, the other 4, like, 3, okay, granted, 3 of them are, like, 99, 2000, 2004.
Yeah.
And then
when Pokemon was at, like, peak popularity.
Yes, exactly.
Like, yeah.
During its peak popularity, similar...
Opening weekend, it made $30 million.
Yeah. Dude, like, it made...
Broly
yeah.
made almost 10, so that's pretty good, though. Especially for, like, the reinsurgence of Dragon Ball that's been happening lately.
Exactly.
For them to even be able to pull off that much. Because when Katsuki no F came out, it grossed 1.8 million opening weekend. So to literally get 5 times the amount of money,
like,
it's because it's Broly.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of things. It's not just because of Broly. Again, like, it kind of is at the same time. But I'm not gonna lie. I can go on all day about it, but I'm not, because y'all have heard me go on and on and on about it millions of times over again. But just to put into perspective for you guys, like, how big Pokemon was back in the day in comparison to, I mean, it's still pretty big now, but it obviously is not as popular as it was back in the day. Like, you know, and I guess that's arguable or whatever, because it's still very, very in tune with, you know, a lot of fans of Nintendo, Pokemon, all that kind of stuff. But the first movie of Pokemon made more in its opening weekend than Broly did in its entire, like, domestic run.
The power of Pikachu, man.
The power of Pikachu, Ash and his friends, Mewtwo and Mew, and all those clone Pokemon. Yeah. What a great movie.
Right. Takes you back.
Yeah, dude. I remember being in the theater when I was like 7,
I don't know
6.
if I ever saw it in the theaters. I would have been 4, so I might have seen it, but I know that I remember watching it with all my friends, like, at home. And we're all crying.
Yeah.
Like,
I was 6,
Ash is dead. Like, nah, he's good. Don't worry.
I was confused. See, because I was like, hold on, he can't die. Like, when I saw that, I was like, okay, wait a minute, why is he stoned? Like, I never thought that he was dead. But I like how we're talking about Pokemon in a Dragon Ball podcast. But so that's cool, right? But yeah, just to put into perspective for you guys, Broly is, you know, right there next to the Pokemon's peak. So I'm kind of curious to you know, I'm wondering, like, if they do another movie in the future, if based on the success of this one, if they then, like, you know, go further beyond and they can, like,
good pun.
You know, thanks. Where they can, like, make sure that the movie stays in theaters and it's in way more theaters across the country and around the world for, like, the same kind of duration that, like, your average movie in the theaters now would be.
Because for me, being where I live, the closest theater was like 2.5 hours away. So it's like, for me to try to do that would have been insane, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Pokemon back then, it was treated like any other movie that you would,
it was like Toy Story.
Yep, exactly,
like
exactly. Like, that's how it was.
Yep.
And Dragon Ball did as well as it did on some limitations. So the way I'm seeing it is that, like, this movie had, like, the Rock Lee weights on, and we were held back. Yeah. Because I think, I honestly think we would have made way more money if it was treated like Pokemon was treated back then. Now, like, but that's the thing. I think with this type of, like, revenue and, like, these numbers, I feel like, you know, it's gonna be we're on the right track to getting anime Well, especially anime like this, like I don't think they're just gonna throw any film out there in the theaters for as long as they will.
Big names like Dragon Ball,
yeah,
and stuff like that.
I would maybe One Piece. I gotta give them some
could.
kind of credit, but I don't think it would be as big as a Dragon Ball film. I feel like Naruto might be better.
No, yeah, definitely. I wonder where The Last sits.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good question, cause I don't see it in the top 20. No, it's not even. It's like
Road to Ninja is the next closest one.
Boruto is 24.
So the Boruto movie got. Oh my god. Okay, so I searched Naruto, right? The first Naruto movie on the list is Naruto Road to Ninja.
Wow.
And it made not even $20,000 on opening weekend and barely grossed over $43,000 over the whole run.
Yeah, The Last is actually at number 38. So.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't see no One Piece movies on here. That's another funny part.
Yeah. Ooh. So I think that Dragon Ball definitely has more of an appeal with Americans just because it was always on like Toonami, and like all the Cartoon Network stuff. Just when everybody was growing up, people had that. Yep. Where One Piece wasn't really as popular because it was with the 4Kids, and 4Kids kind of ruined it. Where Dragon Ball was pretty much preserved being able to be on Toonami and kept all the adult,
I definitely, I have to agree with you on that one. Dragon Ball definitely has the advantage here when it comes to trying to be spread on a global kind of scale with like the movie department, because as you can see, like the numbers are everything, know, and like you see it in front of you right now. It's like this film is like the most relevant and newest film within this top 10 list right here, dude. Like Resurrection F is the 10th best. Like, and that was 4 years ago. That was 4 years ago, and Broly is number 3. All these other films, the earliest one that we have on here, like I said, at number 5, The Secret World of Ariety came out in 2012. Everything after this is like 2004, 2000, 1999.
2 of them are Ghibli, and then outside of Ghibli, we got Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon. So it's like the big name anime is what's making top 10. But then My Hero's at 11.
That movie that was actually a very, very good movie. So who knows? I don't see. That's the thing, because like we were saying before, like Dragon Ball has the advantage where it has all of the fans from back when it was first on Toonami and even before then, and when and like all throughout those days, and then we grew up, and then all of the newer fans, in the middle of like the 2000 years and whatnot, and then into now, Dragon Ball has only grown in popularity, like the more you look at it. Whereas My Hero Academia, if you compare it to Dragon Ball, it's still a baby, in my opinion.
It's been around what, like 4 years now? Not even.
Yeah, I mean the manga's been around for a little bit, but the anime is only about to be in its 4th season this fall. Dragon Ball, Super is still on the cusp of, returning, which we'll actually be getting to in one of our topics pretty soon. But, to kind of wrap things up with this film, I really want to say that I think that it goes without saying that they really are changing they're reforming the landscape of how anime should be looked at. As far as like, how it's distributed with the movie theaters. And I think that next time around where they go up to bat, I think that we have a higher chance of not just having like select theater release. It should just be more like at your local theater near you type thing. For like a month long or however long, like like any other movie will be in theaters for like a normal run, and then see how much money it brings in, which I'm sure it will. I think it'll do better. But again, at the same time, thinking about it, it's almost like the scarcity of it being exclusive. Like, oh, you can only see it at these times on these days, kind of make people go crazier for it. Yeah, because I know like a lot of people, myself included, have gone to see this movie multiple times. You know, and I've never really done that, like, with any other, like, none of the Avengers films, none of the Star Wars films.
Saw it twice.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah, I saw it twice. Yeah, I saw it first time, and then I saw it the second time with you.
Yeah, we saw it.
Yeah.
So then, what Dragon Ball movie do you think would be next then? Like, what do you think in all of Dragon Ball would bring out as many people as Broly did?
Okay, so this is gonna sound hella biased, but dude, Broly 2, dude, I'm not gonna lie.
Bio Broly?
No. Everyone would turn that John off. Okay, but yeah, no, the reason why I say that is because, like, this is, again, you're asking the guy that's been predicting his return for years. Like,
yeah, and you got everything right so far.
Yeah, like, everything with just them bringing Super back entirely. You know, I said this talking to Geekdom in one of the previous episodes. I don't know if I said it in episode 1 or 2, but, and he was actually like, he was like appalled. He was like, really? Like, you really? Like, I was like, yeah, dude. Like, I was like, when I notice something that's popular, that's working, that's clicking, that's making money, it's lucrative, you know, I know that, like, you know, that, because, again, numbers speak for themselves, and if we're in a world where, you know, you kind of need to make money to survive, then that's what they'll do. They're gonna go with what works. And, you know, other companies like Nintendo, that you see them doing it all the time. Like, why do you think they keep remaking the same games?
Yep.
You know, like, because it works, right?
So do you think that they will then not introduce Broly in the anime, or do you think they'll have, like, subtle hints when the anime comes back to then hype up another movie?
So,
or do you think they'll have it where it's Goku and Broly teaming up this time instead? Because this one really was like an origin story for Broly,
right? Yeah,
no,
that's very.
It was like, this is the story of Broly. Like, it ends because it was like Goku was like, yeah, I want to come back and we're gonna fight. And
yeah, no.
Kind of like, what makes you think you can come back? And he was like, I don't know, because I want to get stronger. So I feel like that if they continue with, like, the prison planet stuff, right, into the anime.
Oh, you're talking about the Galactic Patrol prisoner arc? Okay, yeah.
If they do that, then maybe after that they have Broly, unless they somehow incorporate Broly into what they have planned, because he's not in the manga as far as I'm aware.
Not yet. Well, he's it's briefly mentioned, but I mean, to answer your question, I think, which is a very, very good question, I think that like, however way they decide to handle it, because they don't need to not include him in the mainline story. You know, like, they don't need to not do that, because number one, everyone's looking forward to it. Everyone's like really hyped up, and that's like one of the most relieving things that fans across the world were like happy to find out and realize that, oh, okay, they didn't kill him. You know, he's alive, he's well, he's on his home, his quote unquote home planet, because, you know, that's where he did his growing up on in Vampa, and, you know, however way they decide to bring him back in, or to utilize his character, is how, like, I'm sure it'll be done fine. And I know, like you said, like, this movie was pretty much more along the lines of kind of like an origin, a little bit, but it was more of a origin on the Saiyans as a whole, that, you know, threw Broly into the mix, because, again, he's been around this entire time, you know, and of course we just didn't know it. He's just been on another planet, blah blah blah. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So now with whatever is to come, I really think that it would be more along the lines of a similar situation that we see in the Tournament of Power, which we're getting to very shortly now. That, you know, in the anime, if you haven't seen the subs, it's been a year. Spoilers, but
watch if you haven't yet.
So there's a moment where, of course, Kale and Caulifla, Kaba, you know, well, it's more Caulifla and Kale. They're fighting with Goku. Yeah, they're like, you know, they're fighting, and then Kale, you know, she rages, turns berserk, and, you know, Goku pretty much has to handle both of them. or I'm probably getting this all out of order because I haven't watched it in a while, so excuse me if I'm getting this out of order, but I do remember there was a scene where no, they're fighting off the Pride Troopers.
Yeah. And
yes.
She goes all berserk on them and then starts doing. Broly did the same attack in the movie that Kale did in the anime.
Well, right.
She just kind of like explodes and then all those blasts start coming out. It was the same attack that Broly did in the movie.
Well, think about it. Kale was inspired off of Broly,
right?
Like the original one, and then this new Broly is obviously taking all of the, all of the good from that old character.
The stuff that people like. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what it was. So like, Kale was free. It was another inspiration of that. And so what happens is, she's raging, and then Caulifla is like her key to like helping her control that power. Yeah. And we see her control it, and it's an epic moment. Yeah. And they're both like powered up. They're like Super Saiyan 2s, and they just do this amazing duo attack, and they end up eliminating like hella Pride Troopers, just them two, right? So I bring that up because I feel like if there's another situation that if they were to make a Broly Second Coming, or they just call it Broly whatever, right? Yeah. It would be more along the lines of the story of how he can control his amazing, never-ending power.
Right.
This overflowing power. Like that's what the next part would be.
Do you think it'd be in a fight against like the Earthlings and Vegeta, Goku, or do you think it would be they're like, oh, Broly, there's like this big bad, or like Frieza's coming back with like an amazing force and he's like 5 centimeters taller, like can you help us, or is it gonna be like something that they're just fighting him? So
here's a really cool scenario that I just thought of just now that I think would definitely would be a lot of fan service, but it would definitely appeal to a lot of fans' expectations and what they could be looking forward to.
Yeah.
The scenario would probably kind of play out where Broly and Goku, there's a scene where they're training or whatever, and then they get word that there's something going on in Universe 6 and they need some help. So Goku, he's like, okay, I'm gonna come now. But then he looks at Broly, he's like, wait a second. And he remembers back to Tournament of Power that there was a person that they fought that kind of fought similar to Broly. So he decides to bring Broly along with him so that way he can meet Kale, and then it's almost like through Goku and Kale and the experience with whomever they're fighting and trying to like help them out, they show Broly like it is possible. Like and then that's how they have like their like a whole moment of like I am you, like we are the same type John,
They even have a similar personality type.
Yep,
very timid.
They're very timid. Yeah. Yes.
But I think Broly's more or less simple than timid.
Yeah, he's more Tarzan.
Yeah, that's what you're saying for.
Yeah. So that's a cool scenario. I mean, if you guys, I would love that too. If you guys want to hear more about that, definitely let me know. And I'll have to make like an exclusive video about it, in a discussion or something like that.
Yeah. Or what would you guys like to see? How would y'all want Broly to be brought in?
Right.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah.
But
we'll discuss that next time.
Speaking of the Tournament of Power, the English dub has been actively airing on Toonami every Saturday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. Right now they're up to episode 97.
Yes.
Which is the actual start of the tournament itself. We see the Zenos, we see the Grand Supreme. I am the Kai of Kais.
Yeah.
Like he is on the angel, the Grand Priest is who I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah.
So the Grand Priest is there. He's explaining the rules. So this is exactly where we're at in the tournament. So everyone's there. Everyone's ready to go. And then, the action starts.
Yep.
We see an elimination just to kind of get in, to for the fans to see, like, how, eliminations work and, like, if you get thrown off, like, what happens. Because at first it was very, like, vague. It was like, oh, like, I wonder, like, if they just die.
Yep. And then the referee was kind of like, oh, so that's what happens. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the fighting commenced.
So the fighting, so again, this isn't really like a review necessarily. This is kind of like a check-in, because we have seen these episodes, of course, subtitled.
We have live reacted to these episodes.
If you guys want to go see those reactions, definitely go back there. They're all there on the YouTube channel.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, so question, actually. I think it was in 96. Might have been 96. It was Kale Kefla and Kowbe, and they were all talking. And Kale had like a flashback to when she was going berserk. Did that happen in the sub? I don't remember that happening. Because why would we have... Because I remember when we saw it for the first time, we were like freaking out. It was like the coolest thing ever. But then I was like, well, why would they have spoiled it so early on?
I think it was in episode 95 that, so if it was 96 that you're talking about, episode 95 is when she actually did the whole berserk for the first time.
That's what it is. Okay,
yeah. So, cause I myself watched them recently just to get like, and that was actually, this is where my favorite quote comes from, out of Dawn M. Bennett, who voices Kale. By the way, she does an amazing job voicing this character, and she goes, "Kowbe, you will be my first blood sacrifice." Like, yo, that John was so OD. I was like, oh my god, like her tonality, the emotion, everything was perfect. I was like, okay, this is what, like it's stuff like this why people need to stop sleeping on English dubs.
Yep.
They really do. Like, Funimation does a great job in a lot of their animes that they have the rights to. So y'all need to wake up. But so I mean, yeah, like Tournament of Power, it's now starting. It has now begun. So if you're listening to this and you've been waiting for that to happen, now is the time to tune into Toonami. Check them out. Also, I'm pretty sure if you have a Funimation Now account, which you don't, there's always a link in the description that you guys can sign up for a free one to try it out, so you can stream all the animes that Funimation has the rights to. Most of them have both the subs and the English dub, where others might just have the English dub, so that's for you to find out for yourselves. And I'm more than like 90% positive that they're actively uploading the new dub episodes on there, but I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that. But again, just make an account if you don't already have one. Check them out for yourself if you missed them on Toonami. I highly recommend checking them out. Because like I said, they've been doing a really good job. I've been to Funimation headquarters, and I've actually been shown how they put together a Funimation dub. You know, when they take the Japanese raw episode and it's included with their track as a reference, right? But I have literally with my own eyes seen how they do it, and I've heard it with my own ears, the distinctive difference that you guys don't realize what you guys are missing out on. Like, when they say they localize it, you know, they are meeting the North American standards of how it is to, you know, how you would expect to see your multimedia, you know, your 5.1, your 7, whatever your surround sound stuff is. See, Japan is just 2 channels, I think. And in, you know, the North America, they're literally they're mixing it down so that you're hearing all these little sounds, like in the front, behind you, sides, you know, and it's like, so that way you are fully immersed in the episode. And this is the stuff that people are missing out on. On top of that, you have all of this amazing editing work done. On top of that, you have of course, the amazing voice cast that they have. Right. You know, again, guys, don't forget, this is you know, for the majority of all of us, this is the dub that we kind of grew up remembering for the most part. I mean, yeah, I remember hearing the Ocean dub for a little bit, but then one day all the voices just changed, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess this is what we're going with. But yeah, that, you know, gotta give props and can't forget. And this is also for a reminder to, like, you know, people that they forget like, oh, that's how I actually watched all of my stuff, because guess what, we didn't have Funimation or Crunchyroll back in the day, or any of those stream services. Like, we had what was on TV, DVD sets, YouTube. That was it.
Yep. Oh man, and early YouTube was
terrible.
Yeah, it was awful.
I mean, it was, for what it was, like,
oh, it was great.
You could access a lot of stuff back then, but but that, it goes without saying. Because like Brother Uchi is another one. He's the kind of person that doesn't even realize that that's the only thing he used to watch was Dragon Ball Z in English. It wasn't until Super started that he started watching subs. Really? And then it's like he totally forgot what it sounded like in English. And he was just so like, oh, if it's not subbed, I'm not watching it kind of mentality. And that's how he is with all his anime. And I'm just like, dude, that's not good.
Yeah.
It's really not. Like, you're missing out.
Elitist.
Yeah, and at the same time, it's like, it's really nice not having to stare at the bottom of your TV screen the entire time, You get to, I feel like when I watch a dub, I feel like I see more because I'm not looking out for the subtitles.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I watched, like, Cowboy Bebop. I watched that dub because the guy who voices Spike Spiegel is absolutely phenomenal.
Okay, I gotta check that out because I have not seen Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, that's whatever.
That's whatever. But speaking of the Tournament of Power, segueing into our next little section here, when the hell is the sub returning?
That's a good question. I really think that it'll probably come after they release Broly on Blu-ray. Okay,
that's a good guesstimate because
I don't know if there's a date. I doubt it. I'm gonna write stuff.
So the thing about the date is there's like some placeholders, and then there's then it just gets random. But if you go on Funimation, I believe they do have a date and it's supposed to be April. I think it's April 12th or April. It's like April 12th or April 14th. That's the one thing I didn't have in front of me as far as my notes go here. But yeah, the Blu-ray.
I see.
Yeah, releasing it after the Blu-ray would be pretty smart. Or you know what? Not to mention, it would kind of go hand in hand if they decided to release it alongside the initial release date of the anime itself. Like, imagine they start promoting it now, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, like you could get the Broly movie now too. So be extra hype on top of hype, so that way when you're watching episode 1, after that you could just go back and watch the Blu-ray release of the film.
Ooh, that'd be great.
It would be.
One day.
Yeah, hopefully. So, but that it would be cool if they did that. Now, I'm not sure if it's actually going to be in April. That's a lot of people are looking at April.
Yeah.
A lot of people like Geekdom, Anime AJ, like they have, Anime AJ especially, he has referenced, he's used a lot of evidence as far as like scheduling with how it's done on what is it, Fuji TV, I think it is, where they air the anime on Sunday mornings, and it would make the most sense if Dragon Ball just took the same time slot that it had prior.
Oh, because it got replaced by something right away, right?
Gegege no Kitaro, yes. Yeah. Which is still, and I believe it's actually stopping in April. So if that happens,
there you go.
Then it's kind of like Dragon Ball just slides right back into his time slot, and then One Piece follows it, and then it's like bam, okay, you got your regular like Sunday morning anime programming. Like, dude, waking up in Japan on Sundays must be freaking lit, dude. Like, that's crazy. Just like, all right, I actually have to wake up early for Sunday, not for church, not for working out, for anime.
Dragon Ball.
Yeah, dude. Like that's
Dragon Ball, One
nice.
Piece. Yeah, that's how I feel on Fridays, man. With JoJo Fridays, JoJo's always come out on Friday here in America. So every day, I think it's always like around 5. Every day. After I get out of all my classes, it's JoJo Friday. It's great. Yeah, it's great.
Outside of April, if it doesn't come out in April, then the next smart choice date we're looking at is like July.
Yeah.
No later than like the fall season, but it's definitely coming out this year. I can assure you that. It's been proven several times. A lot of the what's up?
The original launch date of Dragon Ball Super was July 5th, 2015.
Yeah, but see, okay, so I'm glad you bring that up, because just as a reminder to people, that happened and it was rushed, and that's the only reason why. They went about the pre-production and production phase in a very rushed manner, so that's why it got a lot of heat at the beginning, because those episodes were very rough. Episode 5 was probably the worst animated episode that they have on Super, and people were like, you know, just signing off on it like, oh, like Super is trash. It is garbage. And again, they were just trying to strike while the iron was hot, and you know, I guess to each their own. You know, if we knew that this kind of thing was gonna happen, I mean, we have to learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
And they obviously have learned. They've learned so much so to the point where Toei Animations has their own Dragon Ball division exclusively for Dragon Ball related projects, and
it's about time.
Yeah, like, you know, like, and plus, you know, like I said before, we have confirmation that, you know, Dragon Ball Super has been in the works for like since like October. It's been in pre-production phases, so we don't know how far along they have been with the production as a whole now. But again, it is February now, so what is that? November, December, January. That's 4 months of them working on the show. Right. So if they were to release this for April, I'd have to think that they would have to have some kind of announcement hyping it up like very soon, if not like at the start of March, because they want to make sure that they take that whole month up, advertise the hell out of it, market the hell out of it, so that way everyone's taking off if they have to, or you know, just planning accordingly, so that way it's like they're there for the first episode of Dragon Ball Super Part 2. So that's what I think. But again, if it doesn't happen, I'm saying summertime, definitely summertime. So that's what we think about that. Actually, you know, it's funny, relating to the whole April release. If it does release in April, it has a lot to do with this next topic, Kamehacon 2. So for those that don't know, Kamehacon is a Dragon Ball exclusive convention it's in its second iteration. Debuted last year, 2018, in May. And here we are, 2019, coming back again once again in the April month, right? And it's in the same location as it was last year. You go to kamehacon.com, you'll be able to find out all the information, location, you know, all that type of information, especially with guests, you know, vendors, events, all that and more on the website. So check it out. It's a Dragon Ball exclusive convention. So anything you can imagine to happen that's, you know, Dragon Ball related will be happening.
Even a Dragon Ball Broly panel.
Oh, right, that's a cheap plug. Oh yeah, so I will be there hosting a Broly panel. I'll be going over the I guess the history of Broly for more or less. There's gonna be a Dragon Ball Super Broly movie panel, so that's separate. But I'm the only other panelist that is doing the history of Broly panel. So definitely, if that's any selling point for you guys listening in, definitely
selling point for me. I'll tell you what.
Well, if I don't see you in Texas, then I'm gonna be pissed.
Man, I live in Texas.
Shut up! Why you lying to these people? But yeah. So there's a lot going on. I went there last year for the very first one. It was a lot of fun. There was a lot of things to see, a lot of people to meet. I actually met some fans of mine, surprisingly. A good amount of people came up to me. They said, "What's up?" Shook my hand. I took a couple pictures with people. It was really cool. And the funny thing is, you get to see a lot of the other content creators. Like I think I saw. Oh man, what is his name? He's a hilarious comedian on Instagram, and he does like these really like out of the ordinary reviews for his super freaking episodes. I think it's like Daquan, I think his name is. I don't know. I could be butchering that, but I'm sorry if I am. But yeah, no, he's really funny. And he was there. I feel like every time I saw him, he had like a posse of people just like following him, like, and he was just like going off about something, and you know, he was just like, it was like fun to enjoy or whatever.
Yeah.
There was like, you know, amazing artist alley. They had my dude Osiris from he does like the virus graphics. He is literally probably one of the illest artists I have ever met and seen in like ever. Like, I know other artists and stuff,
Yeah.
but dude, like, he draws like all your favorite Dragon Ball characters in like the most drippiest of drip attire, like making them look like they're straight out of the hood.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, dude, like they look so good. And like, he's a really nice guy, cool, down to earth dude. I mean, he's talented. He knows he's talented, man. He got the shades on. He was. I took a picture with him. I was like, bro, can I take a picture of you? You are fucking swagging right now. Like, you know, but like, I felt good for him because his dude, I'm telling you, bro, his art is amazing. Like, I had to buy something. Like,
Yeah.
Then again, though, like, I had to buy like some, like, so the cool thing about it, like, he has prints of the stuff that he draws, but of course, like, people want it on the t-shirts, the hoodies, the stuff like that, but those Johns are very expensive, so I couldn't really support him like that, but I did get the print versions, like the really small ones. But yeah, like that's something that I have. That's like I feel like his price point is so high that's like bucket list. Like, yeah, I definitely got to get a virus graphic freaking tee or something eventually. Cause dude, he took advantage, man. Broly came out, he got the new Broly, got the new Bardock, Gogeta on there.
Of course.
Yep. So I'm sure he's gonna be there again.
Ooh, and Gogeta got mad swag, dude.
Of course, yeah.
Anything
definitely.
Gogeta would sell instantly.
Yeah, definitely. There, of course, the voice actors are gonna be in attendance for their own panels. Last year they had the Japanese voice actor for Vegeta. They had Chris Sabat. And then they had the Ocean dub voice actor. They had 3 Vegetas in one amazing panel that I was there for live.
So much power emanating from one room, man.
Yeah, dude.
So much built up tension.
Yeah, and they well, you know what's funny? There was actually really no tension. It was actually like everyone was very lax and really respectable with each other, and like there wasn't no like, well, I'm the better Vegeta kind of thing. Like, there was none of that. It was actually really humbling. It was a really cool experience, and they ended it with a triple final flash, and it was like, normally they end every time they end it with a Kamehameha, like, you know. But to see the 3 Vegetas go Gallic, oh no, sorry, it was like final flash, like, dude, it was so freaking cool. Like, it was cool, and they ended it with the Bruce Faulkner Vegeta theme, which people, I don't know why, like, oh, okay, well, then again, like, he did steal the music, apparently. I don't know. That's a whole nother mess of discussion topic to talk about. But
that's a whole nother episode in itself.
But yeah, they used that theme song that Vegeta has that, of course, again, we all grew up with watching the freaking the TV show on TV, whatever. And it was an awesome time. So, guys, again, if I have not sold you on this convention yet, I definitely think you should consider it, because it is a super fun, and I feel like it's definitely a part of history.
Oh my gosh,
within the fandom, you know.
This is the second one, right?
This is the second one, and I know that in the summertime, I think in August, they're bringing it to the UK, so they're doing a KamehaCon UK this year as well. So any international fans that I might have, I would definitely check out. If you can't make this one, I understand tickets are definitely hella expensive.
Yep.
But you know, if you're out there in the UK, definitely check that out. So, KamehaCon 2, guys, is dope, is lit. Last but not least, on this episode today, we have, I'm calling this the game corner for now, but, you know, for those that have any kind of suggestions on what to call, you know, the video game section of this Full Power podcast, let us know in the comments. Yeah, but in this section, I want to bring up my impressions of Jiren and Videl, the latest DLC for Dragon Ball FighterZ. Talk a little bit about Dragon Ball Legends and Dokkan Battle, the two, I guess the only Dragon Ball mobile games that are people are still actively playing right now. So Jiren and Videl are actually really fun to play. I was playing them on stream for the first time the other day. I actually uploaded a stream clip highlight of me completing Jiren's like stupidest combo that he has, and it's the 9th one out of the 10th. It's the most impractical John, dude. Like it like
you'll never do it.
You'll never do it exactly. Like there's no point because it weighs hella meter, and it doesn't even do that much. It just looks super fancy, and it's just like, okay, like, sure, Jiren will do this in the anime, but it's just like, we're not doing this in a video game.
Yeah,
You know, so he's cool. He plays exactly how you would expect him to play. He has a lot of moves that are like cross-screen invincible kind of moves where he just stands there. He's still somehow hitting you. Like, it's really cool.
Love it.
Yeah, he's really unique. He doesn't utilize any of the Pride Troopers, but come on, like, why would he?
He doesn't need to. He's the only Pride Trooper that
he is the Pride Trooper.
He's like Superman, basically.
He is a more stuck-up Superman. I would definitely, I would definitely say that. Yeah, well, stuck up in the sense that he thinks power is everything. He don't want to rely on nobody. And if you're weak, and you should just step aside. Videl, I had a lot more fun playing with, and probably due to in part because she comes packaged with Gray Sandman, and I have literally that Gray Sandman has been a requested character of mine personally. I knew they probably would never put him in, but this is the next best thing. I have no problem playing Videl just so that I can see my man Gray Sandman come on the screen. So
because she utilizes him in combos, right?
Yes. She utilizes him in combos, but she uses him kind of like standalone as well too. Like you could input like a certain button with a direction, and he'll come out and like do like a dive kick or something like that. Who could come from like directly above or whatever. You know, he's really cool. Or I should say they are really cool to play as. The only gripe that I have is that they did not give her the Gray Sandman 2 outfit. However, they gave her the pigtails. So again, this is the first time we're seeing this done in the game where they are giving a character another outfit. So, and people were like actually questioning that. They were like, so like, can they even do that? Because this is Arc System Works. This is the same people that make Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear, and they don't do those kind of things in those games.
It's the way they store the models.
Exactly, right? And I'm just like, that's no excuse. This is 2019.
Yeah, right.
They can literally figure it out, just like every other fighting game publisher out there. And what do you know? They did with Videl, but they gave her the freaking pigtails. And I was like, bro, nothing against the pigtails, but why did they miss out on this opportunity? Especially if they're going to package her with Gray Sandman. So I was tight. And what's even worse is that they have her doing... Dude, they do the poses. Like, they actually rip... I posted this on my Instagram, on Twitter. They literally rip the picture of the pose that they are doing when they're both suited up. Except in the game, she's just regular as Videl, and Sandman is Sandman. I'm like, you put them side by side. I'm like, wow, they even reference this picture, and yet they don't even give her the outfit. Like, they really messed up on that one. Yeah. I was very upset.
Yeah, I wonder why they didn't decide to go with the outfit.
Dude, I have no idea.
It doesn't make sense. Unless it was because they didn't want to be like, why does Videl get 2 different outfits but nobody else does? You know, maybe they were avoiding that.
You know what? It's like, come on. Like, why? Like, why?
Right.
Like, at this rate, it's like I think it would be okay. Here's the crazy part. Okay, even after spending what $25 on the season 2 pass, like the fighter pass, I would still pay extra for more costumes.
Oh my gosh, everybody would.
And guess what? It happens in Street Fighter.
Yeah.
So I don't see what the problem is. Like, you know, there's people I know for a fact people have been looking for the Vegeta Badman outfit where he's wearing the pink shirt and the khakis. Right?
Yep.
People are looking for that. People are looking for what's it called? Like just other costumes. Like I know like what would be a good one? I guess Goku in the Yard Rat costume.
Or
Trunks.
Goku in his business suit.
Yeah, there you go.
That'd be hilarious.
Goku in the business suit. You know, Trunks from Super, because we still don't understand why they have not done that yet. Right. Who else? Like they're like they have a bunch of colors. I gotta give them that. The colors are really cool. Oh, Bardock from Super. Yeah. Like.
Oh, from the movie too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Bro.
From the movie. Because right now he's mantling his original look.
Which is cool. His original looks awesome.
Yeah, it's fine, but it's like, dude, we have seen the updated Bardock.
Yeah, and we want more.
Yeah. So it's like there's plenty of costumes. I'm sure there's a bunch that I'm like having a brain fart right now, but there's probably gonna be a bunch that you guys definitely should mention in the comments. You know, any other costumes that you guys would love to see, you know, in Dragon Ball, because in Dragon Ball Fighters, because it's just like this is like free money for them at this point. For real. That they're missing out on.
Did they announce the other fighters that are coming with the pass?
Oh, so good. Thank you for asking.
Of course.
Because they okay, so they were smart about this, okay? So they did it out of order apparently. If you're going to assume based off of their graphic that they had in their trailer, but I've been noticing a lot of studios, like publishers, developers, whatever. They have been kind of giving away their season pass, like not giving it away like for free, but they've been giving out the details, like, okay, like this is what you can expect for season 2 of this, because I mean it is kind of fair for that way, you know, that way that you know exactly what you're paying for. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, okay, if they don't make it fan service enough, then you know, smash. So right, exactly. So because I mean, right now, they have not announced anyone after Joker. Yeah. You know, but as far as this goes, they revealed Jiren, they revealed Videl, then they released them like a few days after that trailer. But within that same trailer, they showed the whole image where it was like Jiren, Videl, and then 4 other characters. So it's like, okay, we're getting 6 characters in total. That's interesting because I'm pretty sure last year we got 8. Not okay, but that's besides the point. They what's it called? They zoom in on the last 2 panels, and then the screen shatters. I'm like, okay, let's go. Like, who is it? And my prediction was right, because again, they're not gonna be stupid and not take advantage of the new Broly film. Like, Broly is in every other freaking Dragon Ball game right now. Oh yeah. Xenoverse, Legends, Dokkan Battle, Super Dragon Ball Heroes. Fighters was the only one left that's a current Dragon Ball game that they've been actively pushing, and people are playing and they're active in it, whatever. Yeah. That they're not in there. Dude, I was standing next to Yipes for this premiere in New York City. Those that don't know who Yipes is, look him up. He's a very popular commentator for his illustrious career in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Dragon Ball FighterZ now, okay? And Street Fighter, whatever they decide to put him on the mic, because he brings in viewers, right? I was standing next to this man. He knows who I am. I say hi to him whenever I see him. I had small talk with him. I said, so dude, do you think that they will be putting in Broly into Fighters? He said no. He goes, nah, I don't think they're gonna do that. Blah 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 blah. I said, okay, cool. Thanks for answering me or whatever, right? Yeah. So I go to Brandon. I'm talking to brother Uchi. I'm just like, tisk tisk tisk.
This dude don't know.
He don't realize it.
Don't know.
And that's how I know. I was like, okay, like, not to knock on Yipes, because granted, he knows enough of the lore to make all his jokes when he's doing commentary for Fighters. But guys, let's again. Let's realize this. How many times do I have to be right for y'all to start freaking listening to me? Like, okay, last year, season 1, Bardock and Broly, right? That was season 1 Fighters Pass, and of course, it did well.
Right.
Like, if it's any character to start that you want, you know you're gonna want people to buy it. How you gonna not have Broly? So there you go. Broly was there from the beginning, and along with Bardock. Funny enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
This trailer reveals that they will include Dragon Ball Super Broly and Gogeta Super Saiyan Blue.
Ooh,
right?
Yeah.
So with that being said, my prediction was a little off because I originally predicted that the start of season 2 was going to be them, because it would have came full circle.
Yeah.
However, things can change and things can be readjusted, right? Mm-hmm. And just, for the stern fact, the stern fact that they are like, okay, we want to make sure people buy the season pass, and we want to make sure people are still playing this game. So we'd be stupid if we did not include Broly and Gogeta. I guess.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Especially after what they did with them in the movie.
Exactly. So it would be really cool to see them actually add the Bardock skin over the original Bardock if they're not going to put him in as a whole new character, which they don't really necessarily need to. If they put in that outfit,
reskinning would be fine.
Yeah, the reskin would be really, really appreciated. It would be awesome. But like I keep saying, like, guys, you guys are like, dude, let me tell you something. They had a leak list. Guess who wasn't on that leak list? You think that was going to stop me from believing, like, okay, that's fine. Like, you could data mine all you want.
Yeah.
But you can't see you can't data mine their production studios when they're literally going back in and saying, okay, maybe we should do this instead. You know what I'm saying? So, as far as the two in the middle, it's probably gonna be Kefla, and probably someone else. Like, people are saying Master Roshi. I don't know how I feel about Roshi being in the game. He'd probably be cool.
It'd be cool if, like, when he went sparking, if he, like, beefed up.
Oh yeah, he's probably gonna be beefed up when he plays, probably. But we'll have to wait and see about that.
Right.
But again, they didn't even have the models or any of that stuff for Broly and Gogeta. They just wanted to include that into their initial reveal trailer to get people hyped, so that way people knew that, okay, they are gonna include them in the game. So I was still right. I was a little off, but with my initial prediction saying, like, oh, they're gonna start us off, but no, they're at least coming, and it's at least happening. So, bam. Y'all need to start listening to me when it comes to Broly stuff. That's just the moral of the story here. All right, but yeah, so outside of that, fighters, Jiren and Videl, definitely really cool characters. I've seen some pretty busted loops that Videl has with Gotenks.
Yeah.
That you just can't avoid, like, getting snapbacked on. If you don't know what snapbacking is when, like, you hit your opponent, you snap them back out, and they have to force switch into one of their other characters.
Really?
Yeah. So, like, she has, like, this weird loop where she just like you cannot avoid it, like when she's with Gotenks. So I saw, like, shout out to Coach Steve. Coach Steve, he made a tweet saying, like, hey guys, I think you guys should delete Videl and start over, thanks. Yeah. As far as Legends goes and Dokkan Battle, I've been playing them for, I want to say, a good 2.5 months now, like, solid, right? Like, not like on and off. I've literally been flip-flopping between both games. Like, whenever I run out of, like, energy to play, like, literally, like, the energy, like, the time in the game, like, whenever I run out on one, I will go to the other.
Right.
And I'm not gonna lie, dude, you are, like, you can vouch for me on this, okay? You know how it is with me, and you know how it is with me with mobile games.
Yeah.
Okay? So the longest running, I guess, like, time period that I've had with any mobile game was probably Pokemon Go, right?
Well, Go and Duel Links.
Oh, that's right. That's right. How can I forget about Duel
Played
Links?
the crap out of Duel Links.
Yeah, we really did. That was like a solid month, and then it just disappeared. Yeah. Pokemon Go, definitely, we had our runs. But recently, dude, I'm not gonna lie, I have been strictly playing these games. Like, I have to say, it's probably just been because of all of the Dragon Ball hype around Broly, and just in general, like, the conversations that people having, like, with it coming back and whatnot. Like, it's just a really exciting time. So I was just like, dude, like, I'm so hyped. I just need to do everything Dragon Ball possible.
Understandable, yeah.
So I have to say, being the non-mobile gamer that I am, I have really been converting like hard to at least playing these games a lot more, and they're really fun. I'm not gonna lie, they're really fun.
I've been in the Discord with you when you're playing, watching the stream.
Yeah, Legends. Yeah, I have been streaming. So if you have not known, I have been on Twitch a lot more. Sticking to Twitch for my games. Don't worry, guys. I miss you guys on the Anime Weekly Roundup discussion. So I'll have to find some time to catch up with everything else and do those live streams for YouTube again. Hopefully soon. But yeah, so definitely twitch.tv/Uchi Games for all of those streams. Legends is more hands-on. So with hands-on, I mean like you have a lot more on the fly kind of choices that you have to make. You can swipe to dodge attacks. You can swipe up to like advance forward. You can swipe back to retreat a little bit. And then you can select between attack cards, key blast cards, and special cards, and like ability cards. And it basically works on like a power up bar that fills up to 100. So basically, like each card has like a numerical value that if you have enough energy, you use it, the attack will come out. Like you'll be able to perform it. And then certain cards that you get at random will have like a Dragon Ball allocated to it, which if you use cards, or if you use 7 of the cards that have the Dragon Balls on them, then you'll get what's called a Rising Rush. And when you use a Rising Rush, and if that goes through, then you'll do like a really good chunk of damage. You do as the opponent, you do have opportunity to like nullify it and counterattack it. But that's literally on a random draw. Like you have to, and it kind of pays homage to like the original Budokai games, not Tenkaichi, regular OG, the original Budokai games. Okay, and
I was never allowed to play him, but my older brother always had him. Sort of
wow, that's crazy. That I don't understand that, but we're gonna have to talk about that after the podcast. But yeah,
help me.
But yeah, it was like it kind of pays homage when it's like you have to pick between square, triangle, circle, X as like, you know, when you're trying to do like those series of attacks, and like if you match your opponents, then you basically stop their whole barrage. But if you get all 3, then of course you get like, you know, this crazy like animation going on, and it looks really flashy. With this game, it's just like it's just one and done. You know, you pick a card, then they pick a card, and if they picked it right, then they basically stop your attack. However, it still goes, like a good chunk of it still goes through as far as the damage goes. And if you're the attacker and you go through, and if you still have your allies, so it's like a 3v3 type of battle system. If your allies are still there, they will actually perform like a unique animation between the 3 of them, and they like all just destroy your opponent's like one character. It's like it's like kind of OD overkill, but it's like really cool. And as far as like the characters you could play as, the roster is really good. They don't have everybody that you would expect. Like they still don't have like Jiren or anyone from Tournament of Power. Like not everyone yet. They just recently released Kefla. No. I'm sorry. They released Caulifla. They released Kale, Kaba, and that's it. They have hits already in the game, but there's no Super Saiyan Blue. There's no Jiren. There's none of the other Tournament of Power, Pride Troopers, Universe 11. There's none of those characters. But again, like out of whom they have in the game, there's a lot of other, like they just also released the History of Trunks characters, like Future Trunks Youth, Future Gohan Adult, in the Super Saiyan form, and like I said, there's I could go on and on. There's literally a lot of characters as it is in this game to like, you know, pull from like the summons, and there's actually some opportunity to get some really good freebie ones. Like this Goku, where his special is like the Spirit Bomb, and it's actually really good. Nice. He's actually like one of the most used characters I see on the PvP, and yes, there is a PvP system, so or battle I should say. So yeah, like there's a lot to do. Even when you run out of energy, you could still do rank battles, or friend battles, casual battles, that don't cost you any energy to use. And if you do rank battles, even if you lose, you still get adventure items, so that way you can go off on adventures. So that way, it's basically like, think of it like if you're a Smash Brothers player and you do World of Light, and you're on like those quests where you like go to the one place and you have to check back like in 6 hours, and then you get like all these items or whatever. It's similar to that, where you know, you embark on the adventures, and then in like 3 hours you'll check it back, and then you'll get like you get like upgrade items, so that way you can boost up your characters, so that way they can get closer to max level. And it's really cool. Like, I like it a lot. There's a lot to do. And they have, like, you know, story events, regular events, side events, experience events. Like, the game is very fun. So if you have not checked out Dragon Ball Legends, check that out. On the other side, Dokkan Battle is more chill. It doesn't require too much thinking. And if you want to kind of relax and just, you know, go brain dead and play a Dragon Ball game, I definitely recommend Dokkan Battle, because Dokkan Battle, from my understanding, it can get very in-depth with strategies and whatnot, and like, you know, devising your units and trying to make like the most optimal team you possibly can. There is item support and whatnot. But Dokkan Battle has a lot more characters and a lot more like Dragon Ball Heroes-esque characters. Like, there's characters in the game that don't even exist in regular Dragon Ball, like, at all. Like, really? I unlocked a character that was like a fusion between like Kid Buu and Janemba. It was crazy. Yeah, dude, it was weird as hell. I saw it, I was like, who is this? Like, it was crazy. So check out Dokkan Battle. It's a lot. I feel like it's a lot simpler to play, for sure. It's basically the kind of game where you have a party of 6 and 3 are out at a time. And if like they're like all Saiyans, like they give each other a boost if they're in a row or whatever. And each one has like a character similar to Legends. So it's like you have your red characters, your blue characters, your green, your yellow, you know, those types of characters. And then you have like the base of the how the game is played. Like, you have to basically try to match the same color. Like, it's like balls. It's like in a row. Yeah. So it's like if you're a blue character, you want to go for the blue balls. Wow. Yes. And
pause.
Yeah, you want to go for those. And if you get a bunch in a row, then of course you're gonna do more damage when the attack phase comes in. So and that gets really flashy as well. Like I said, there's a lot of characters that you can expect to be in the game, as well as a lot of characters that you probably wouldn't expect to be in the game. And like, they just released the Broly event, so you know, the Dragon Ball Super Broly characters are in there. Legends had them as well. So yeah, so they're very actively updating it as well. I also am aware that the Japan version is like months ahead, so they have cards that we don't even have yet in the what they call the global version. So I know that both games are pretty popular. Dokkan's been around for a lot longer. It's like 4-year anniversary in Japan right now. Mm-hmm. Legends like only came out like last summer, I think.
Yeah, it was pretty recent.
Yeah. So, you know, for someone that don't play any of the games, do you feel like maybe any like slightly more interested than you were before, just giving them a shot?
High key, I literally just downloaded both of
them. You're a gangster.
Well, like, I had them before, right?
Yeah.
I didn't really get into them as much as I probably should have, because one, it would have helped me understand Dragon Ball a lot better, introduce me to like more GT characters, stuff like that. But I'm not a really big mobile game guy. But being that it is Dragon Ball, I'm probably gonna invest a lot of time into it.
Yeah, and like, that's the thing, like, coming from like these weird dudes that we literally don't like, we were Pokemon Go people for the most part, right?
Every
and
now
like
and then hop on.
Yeah. And see, and that's the thing, like, that game is completely different from this one, right? Because Pokemon Go relies on you to be in an area that has locations to visit the Pokestops.
Not like where we live.
Right. Well, we in the freaking sticks, pretty much.
In the middle of nowhere.
Both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, we got the 3 bears and Goldilocks like as neighbors and John. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, they play with us. Yeah.
They go on the quest with us. But, you know, like, that's how it is. Like, we come from playing that game. When you transition to playing a game like this where you are not reliant on the area at all, I mean, granted, you obviously have to have like some form of, you know, connection, whether it's through your data on your phone or Wi-Fi. Like you can play this legitimately like from anywhere. And that's I think it's gonna be a differentiating factor for you, because I'll put it to you this way: Legends resets every day at 1 a.m. And guess what time I pretty much go to bed at every freaking day?
Around 1 a.m.
Around 1 a.m. So literally when I'm trying to fall asleep, I log into Legends. I get all the gifts that I have waiting for me. I do my discount summons, because every day you have whatever the banners are at. Yeah. Usually each one has a discount summon of 20 crystals, which they normally go for 100. So it's like you always go for the discount summons, right? And then you just do your dailies really quick, like, you know, do story, do Rising Rush, do like, you know, embark on an adventure. And like I said, you do PvP, even if you lose, you get the items to embark on the adventures. So if you stack on the adventures so that you have them, you can literally just have them ready. So like by the time, like let's say you're me, you go to you embark on all you have 3 free slots. If you play a little bit more, you accumulate more of this. I don't forget what the currency is called. It's like these like extra Johns. Yeah. You can use them to buy 2 more extra slots. So for me, I have 5 slots right now. And if you embark on 5 adventures, and you know right before you pass out, I wake up, my adventures are completed. So then I go in, I get my items, and then I try to like, you know, boost my characters as much as I can. And then and then like, you know, when I get the chance at work, you know, I'll try to do some story missions or event missions, PvPs if I can. And you know, and like you pretty much just play when you can, but like the game gives you the incentive to keep playing, because you have the opportunity to grow your characters, to go embark in the adventures, to do the missions, to unlock more stuff. Like it's really freaking fun. Same with Dokkan Battle. Dokkan Battle is I feel like is a lot easier, and you could play for a lot longer, because you could do these story events, and you could just, if you wanted to, you could grind out the same ones. You could do the same in Legends actually, but with Legends, I feel like it's a lot easier to max out the levels, because all you gotta do is you gotta just play, and then you stack on all these items that you get, where the game gives you a bunch as it is, especially if you're just starting. And then you go into the training, John. You train against all of these characters that you're not going to use anyway. They disappear, use items, they max out hella quick. Like I'm literally speaking off experience. Like this was me yesterday. I literally unlocked Super Saiyan. Oh no, I'm sorry. I unlocked Goku, Vegeta, Frieza, and Broly from the Broly movie, and all of them I have as a ultra rare, which is something you upgrade to. So like they start off as like super rare. Oh no, they start off as super rare. I think I'm pretty sure they start as super rare, and then through the training, they max out. So then they become super rare, and then you can awaken them. And when you awaken them, then I'm sorry. When you awaken them, then they become the super rare. But from the awaken, I think I can now turn my Vegeta into Vegeta Blue, which makes him a ultra rare Super Saiyan Blue, which is
is it the perfect blue or the advanced blue?
Nah, so the blue Gatorade Diamond, like I said, is like an anime exclusive. They didn't do it in the movie, so they're not gonna do it. But I'm sure it's gonna happen at some point in Dokkan first before it happens in Legends. I'd be surprised if Legends gets that character first if it's not already in there. But because they do have Ultra Instinct in Dokkan Battle, but they don't have that in Legends right now.
Gotcha.
So that's like my whole like experience with both games. Like I love the games, as you guys can tell. Like they're very fun. I have a lot of people asking me to play them in PvPs and stuff like that. I'm like, guys, like I am brand new to this game. Like stop trying to wreck me so soon. But yeah, like And if you guys didn't already notice, I got Housetop hooked. So
I'm on it.
He's on.
Catch me in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. We'll see what kind of teams you're working with right now.
Yeah.
If in 2 weeks, by episode 4 of this, if you actually have one character maxed out to 2,000 in Legends, I will definitely give you huge kudos and call you a triple OG.
Bet. I'm gonna do it.
All right,
We'll
sweet.
see.
So
I'm gonna grind.
yeah, so that's pretty much this week's episode of the Full Power Podcast. House, you got anything you want to add at all?
No, I don't think so. If you guys have any recommendations or topics that you'd like us to cover, let us know down in the comments or tweet at us.
Right. What's your Twitter?
@_Housetop.
Bet.
Yeah, let us know what you think. Yeah.
And of course, you guys can follow all the Uchi Games accounts, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at Uchi Games. Keeping it simple, keeping it clean. Thanks, you guys, for sticking around with us. If you're still here this far into the podcast, definitely hit us back up for more Dragon Ball discussions exclusively here on Full Power Podcast. Next time on episode 4. This has been Housetop and your boy Uch signing out. We'll see y'all next time.